This is James Dixon with a Tableau video on how to filter workbooks that use different data sources on a single dashboard. The data set we're dealing with here, it's a fictitious law firm. So we've got attorneys, we've got clients, we've got cases of different types. We've got car accidents, motorcycle accidents, so we have different categories. And then we have a funnel, so we can see how many cases we have at each stage within the company right now. How many are in trial versus how many are in settlement exactly. I've already set up a calculated measure, so we can change which measure we're looking at. But what I really want to do is I want to filter these three graphics, these three displays by the case category. These two come from one data source, and then the final data comes from a different data source. So we've got multiple data sources, and we want to use a single filter. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a new parameter. So let's go ahead and call that category parameter. It's a string. And as I said, we've got two different data sources, one that populates the funnel, one that does the others. They both have case category in, so it doesn't matter which one we choose. I'll add the all just in case. So now we have our parameter, and that goes across the whole workbook. So this is available at in every worksheet inside of the workbook. The next thing we need is a calculated value. So we're going to say I want to create a calculated field, and to make it obvious we're going to call it category parameter, let's say calc. And so what we're saying here is that the category parameter is linked to the case category. So we've got the case category here, the category parameter down here, and the two of them are linked together. So we say OK, and we can now drag this into our filters. We choose the true option. And now that's available to all of our views that use that data source. So we can go to our demographics bar chart, and I can drag in the category parameter. Now we get to our funnel display. This is using our other data source. So we have the category parameter, but we don't have the calculation that we created for the other data source. So we're going to create a new calculated field. Let's call it category parameter 2. Spell it right. And again, we have case category in here. And again, we're associating case category with the category parameter. And again, I can drag that to the filters and choose the true option. Here we go. Oh, no, come on. Okay. So now we have everything being filtered by this, this category parameter that exists for every workbook that we have. And we want to drive it all from this display, which is worksheet 10. So we go to our dashboard. So far, nothing happens. We're not changing the case category at all yet. What we need to do is create a dashboard action. We're going to add a new one, and we're going to add a change parameter. As I mentioned, sheet 10 is this one here with the circles on it. And let's say when we hover over that, we want to change our target parameter is category parameter, and we're going to validate against case category to get the list of allowable values. So we say OK to that, OK to that. And now, whenever I move the mouse over a different category on this display here, you can see that the title changes up here. So motorcycle accident, premise liability, wrongful death. But you can see that all of the views, all of the worksheets update, including the funnel down here, which is the one that uses the different data source. So here we have it. We've got a one dashboard worksheet that is using a dashboard action to change the parameter that's used for these other data sources. I hope that made sense. I hope that seems easy to you. There's lots of different instructions out there on how to do this. None of them seem to work for me. Some of them were dependent on whether it was a primary or a secondary data source. This was the method that I found the most obvious and the one that was the easiest to get working without any errors. So basically what you need, to summarize, you need a parameter. So let's look briefly at the parameter again. So here we give it a name, a type, and then we give it some allowable values. And that's all we do for the parameter. That is available across all of the different worksheets. And then for each data source, we create a calculated field that associates the global category parameter with a specific field in this particular data source. So in input, we're aligning it with case category. And then in the funnel, it happens to be the same, have the same name, but we're creating a second calculation because the calculation is specific to the data source, whereas the parameter is the same across all of the data sources. And then our final step is to use a dashboard action. Let's go to the dashboard. So our final step is to use a dashboard action which says when we hover over sheet 10, we want to change the category parameter. And the category parameter, once changed, will update our other views for us. So there we have it. I hope that was helpful. I hope it was useful. I hope it was easy enough. Please leave any comments that you want. And thanks for watching. Thanks very much.